Hey Saints, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. Welcome to Saints TV Weekly for July 1st, 1st of July 2024. As always, thanks to Inglewood Coffee Roasters, the sponsor of Saints TV Weekly for 2024. Go on over to their website, inglewoodcoffeeroasters.com.au. Use the discount code SAINTSTV24 and you'll get 40% off coffee, tea and chai products to start your week. Bad ending to the weekend though. 2-point loss to Port. So that's another close loss to Port. That's our 6th loss this season out of our 10 by 10 points or less. So that's the way the season's gone. That's the way the cookie crumbles, as is a Bruce Nolan in Bruce Almighty. A terrible reference there. But anyway, correct me if I'm wrong. Not great. Not a great game. Check out my review. It's it's just the same old, where we're not great across the ground, but we're not bad on the scoreboard. We're within reach to win the game if we're good enough and if we have the composure and if we have players that are willing to kind of own that moment. And that was not the case yesterday. We had a couple of moments late in the game to hit the front. We blew them up in our faces. And again, an opponent just kind of stumbles across the finish line. I wouldn't say that Port out-sprinted us. They didn't beat us to the finish line. They literally stumbled over the finish line. We stumbled a few meters back and they just kind of fell over the line. And it's just the tale of our season. Teams aren't really having to earn the win. We just kind of shoot ourselves in the foot enough times in a game that we can't walk. So not great. That takes us to 5-10, I think. Sydney to come on the rebound on Sunday at Marvel. So that's going to be a daunting prospect. We always seem to play teams like coming into the game with pressure or off the back of a loss, and Sydney have only lost twice this season, and so now we have to face them off the back of that. So fantastic news from the loss. Obviously everyone's talking about Max King, specifically off the back of David King's comments. A first crack last night with Anthony Hudson and Lee Montagna, and he talked about having a conversation at the end of the season to potentially part ways with Max King. And I agree, Sainers. He had his worst game, probably the worst game I've seen Max King play yesterday. Absolutely. But can we at least sit back and be a little bit more constructive? I can't get over the fact that everyone wants a little shortcut and they just want to say, trade him. Trade him. For who? What are we going to do? Draft another key forward and then torture him with the insurmountable pressure that he would inevitably get from day dot. Max, Saints fans, we should be kind of the caring parents with the youngsters and talking about how can we best get the best out of him. What can we do? What can we do to help? Where's the avenue that can get Max King into form? Do we put him up the ground? Do we put him in the ruck? But instead, we're that angry, abusive uncle that no one wants to invite to a Christmas party. That's the analogy I have. We are so toxic in the comments. We love pain. There was a guy sitting behind me yesterday and he couldn't say one nice thing about any player on the ground. And I'm thinking, it's 5 minutes into the first quarter, dude. You're trying to make your friends laugh because they're Port Adelaide fans. Get a grip. Honestly, get a grip. And in the comments, it's the same. It's the same. Max King kicked 3 against Brisbane and there was still people that weren't happy because he shirked a few contests. Like, that doesn't happen across the ground with a million other players. I could have pinpointed 5 or 6 other blokes in the first half yesterday that were as bad as Max King. It's just that they don't have the profile of Max King, and so everyone easily goes for the forward because the forward links to goals. It's just easier to quantify. If you don't kick goals, you're bad. If a midfielder doesn't get 25 but he gets 20, we don't bat him. Like, no one gives a shit, basically. So mini rant, but let's just try and work out a way to get... He's a potential match winner. We're not trading him. Stop comparing him to Ben. He's 23 years old. He's still averaging 1.6 goals per game in the 12 games that he's played. I just think it's outrageous how easily Saints fans can jump off a player. And it's just, I don't know. It's just draining. We're not trading him. He's there. Why would we put him at Sandy to kick 10 and play on someone that's never going to play at AFL level? I would rather him just go through the motions at AFL level so he can finally play on a good forward, a good defender, and find that form again. So I don't know. It's a very sensitive topic, but I don't know. I just think he's copping it. And I don't know. find it difficult to kind of manage. Injury updates. Paddy Dow, Jimmy Webster obviously played yesterday. Brad Crouch, TBC. Jack Hayes, TBC. Dougal Howard, 1 week. James Venez, season. So nothing's really changed there. And that swings to VFL. And unfortunately, Sandy lost by 15 points to Geelong in Geelong. So it was a good close game. Great signs from Mateus Filippo, who kicked 2 goals, 31 disposals, 9 tackles, 6 marks. He was by far the most dominant player on the ground. Hugo Garcia, 1 goal, 18 disposals, and 13 tackles, if you don't mind. This guy is a tackling machine. Max Heath looked really good. 1 goal, 16 disposals, and 28 hitouts, along with 6 clearances. Tim Membry, 1 goal, 20 disposals, 7 marks. Zach Jones, 28 disposals. Isaac Keeler, 1 goal, 16 disposals, a couple of hitouts. Liam Stocker, 23 disposals. Ronnie Burns, 22 disposals. Ben Patton, 17. Angus McLennan, 13. Who else? Max Hall, 13 as well. Wouldn't mind seeing him soon. Ollie Houghton, 14 and a behind. Angus Hasty, only the 7, so quiet day for him. So great to see Mateus finding form. I don't know if we just persist with him in VFL, but he's had about 2 or 3 really strong games now. So I dare say he's pretty close to a recall. He's definitely kicking the door down very well with the performances he's putting in the last month. Next up for us is Sydney off the rebound, losing to Fremantle by a point. This is Sunday at Marvel, 3:20 p.m. Similar to Port, I just don't really remember the last time we beat Sydney at Marvel. It's been a long time. Like, we beat them in Sydney last year, which is hard to believe. And Max King kicked the sealer, if people remember. And yeah, they're coming off a rebound. Of course, we play a team that's either under pressure or coming off a loss and wanting to rebound. And this is the top team. So we've got our hands full big time. They are going to want to absolutely dominate us from start to finish. They're a very good team. They're a high-scoring team. They've got goal kickers all over the joint. They've got a gun midfield. They've got a very, very good back line. And their forward line is starting to click a little bit more now, with like Amadi and obviously McDonald and Papley and these sort of guys that are very, very dangerous. Not to mention Grundy. So curious to see if we persist with Tom Campbell, because we subbed him yesterday, and have, it looked so good to have Rowe forward. So 3 goals, 1 to Rowe. Like, do we persist with that for the rest of the season and just see, if Max King's not performing, does Rowan Marshall just drift forward and just take that pressure off him? It seemed to work yesterday. He could have kicked a bag, honestly, Rowe. But we just need him so much around the ground that we can't afford to just have him deep, which is unfortunate. But yeah, get to the game. I know the game yesterday wasn't great, but we've got 6-7 games to go. Most of them are at Marvel. No excuses. Just rock up. Like, let's get behind the boys. You still want to show something by the end of the season. You don't want to just fizzle and lose every game. As much as some Saners think getting pick 1 or 2 is so important, because we haven't had those picks before and they haven't backfired. You still got to get them right. You still got to draft right and develop right and do all that sort of stuff. So just getting the pick doesn't offer any solution, really. So I still want to go into games wanting to win, and this is no exception. It's exciting. I'm keen to see us play the top team. Like, they've been by far and away the best team this season. Bring it on. I'm excited. If we lose and we lose badly, so be it. And then at least we get front row seats to how a team should be run and how a team should play. And if we compete and we have a good game with them, then that's good signs as well for our youngsters. So that's it from me, Saners. That's Saints TV Weekly. I'm a bit angry today, if you couldn't tell. I don't know why. I just think I'm a bit over some of the sort of overreaction. Or not overreaction, but just some of the attitudes from some people. So just bear with me while I rant a little bit. But yeah, no tipping, no perfect score this week. So a few upsets I think there were. So I think the highest was 7. North Morris got 7. The out-and-out leader with 6 weeks to go is King Casto on 94. What am I sitting on? Saints TV is on 91, so not bad. Andrew Rosso, 92. ESPN Fan, 93. So pretty tight at the top there. And hopefully we'll get a signed Guernsey as the winning prize. So keep tipping. Yeah, that's it from me. Sainers, my review's out. Poddy's out tonight. Obviously Saints TV Live. And then all the content during the season in the lead up to the Sydney game. So appreciate your time, Sainers. Thanks very much. And as always, go you mighty Sainers. See you guys.